Hi, welcome back to Italy. This is a different video. From the last one I mentioned I was going to do a Q&A, which is for people who've been asking loads of questions, and a bit about my life in England. Just doing a little intro to say that I put chapters in for the subjects for those of you interested in certain things like finance, how I finance this, and then all those personal questions loads of you ask. Whew, so I'm out of breath because work's ongoing. You'll see that in the next video. Back to this one. At the end I showed the journey that I took on the last trip home, where I went through Italy, Austria, Germany, Holland before I got the ferry back into England. So it's just a little bit of a feature at the end. Let me know what you think. I mean, obviously always ask the questions and I love the comments, but the touring bit, is it interesting? Do you want to see more of that? Let me know. Alright, thanks as always for the support. I hope you enjoy this one, and well, like I said, back to DIY. Just had 12 ton of aggregate delivered. So I've got to barrow move all that. Okay. Okay, so Q&A, but slightly differently, I hope. Something a bit more interesting, just sitting around answering the usual questions, because I tend to cover those through the videos. First of all, this is Bramall Park. This is not my house. I wish it was, but no, this is my local park where I come quite often. I certainly come around here for a lovely walk, and it's great for running. There's a park run really well organised here on Saturdays, so I enter that occasionally. But as timing goes, it's difficult to get there for the start every Saturday. So I just come and run when it's nice and quiet, really, in the evenings.
Well done.
I've looked at the questions I get. I've tried to break them down into a couple of categories. What I'll do is put the categories on the screen somehow, or as chapters, so you can skip around. Because some of you might be interested in the detail, and some of you just really want to know about the finance side of things and how I've got here. What are we talking about? What's led me to make this big move, I suppose, this big decision? So obviously there's loads of personal questions, loads about finance, and loads about my relationships, but I'll cover those two off for you, no problem. I won't overshare. All right, so we'll have a bit of fun with this if we can. I guess you want a bit of a backstory. All right, so as quickly as I can and as honestly as I can, as always unscripted. So I'm 51 now, recently turned 51. I am from Wales, but I've lived in England longer than I lived in Wales. I've worked in a similar industry my entire career, which is basically software, computer software, and I've been very fortunate to always work from home. So even when there's big offices, corporate offices, because I used to work for a FTSE 100 company, never in the office. And that's a big part of why I'm doing this. I quite like the adventure of that. I used to love being on site with customers, and back in the good old days, you know, there was loads of meetings on golf courses and stuff like that. So I think I hit this industry at a really good time. So I've always worked from home. I was married, divorced. I've been divorced about, I'm going to say 12, 13 years. A while. I've dated since, and that's been brilliant. But I think I now know why those relationships broke down. And that's a big part of where I'm at the moment, I'd say. All right, so property-wise, I think this place in Italy is probably my 9th, maybe 10th property that I've bought or invested in. While some were moving for situation like work, say, or when you have children, you know, you need to go to decent suburbs with decent schools. I think I've been really lucky with property, but I did get some good advice when I was young, and it's quite simple. You buy the cheapest house in the best area and you do it up. You can't go wrong. You're not going to lose out on those investments. And I've done that a couple of times, and that's worked really well for me, especially the last house I bought in England, which I knew was always going to be a temporary house. So I changed the layout around, and I wouldn't say renovated. It didn't do everything to it, but I learned a lot about, let's say, DIY, and I got a load of experts in to do the big stuff. Now, in reality, that house has paid for this next piece. That house, I sold it, and I basically split the cash in two. This is the big decision I made, and I think maybe a lot of you, maybe you need to be ready for. It's effectively downsizing. So 4-bedroom detached house with a nice view. I sold it and I bought an apartment. It's a hell of a change. I'll be honest, it took a while to make the decision, and then after the decision, get used to it. It was a lot of, what have I done? Moving from a house to an apartment is a huge move. But that allowed me the cash to do what I'm doing in Italy. So there was a good, it wasn't downsizing for downsize's sake. It was downsizing to open the door for what I consider is like the next chapter. The important thing at that point in time though, as soon as I sold that house, I really ramped up the search in Italy because I knew that all that cash in the bank, it's just going to find a way of spending itself. So I did invest pretty quick, but in saying that, I did a load of research. I've covered that before, loads, haven't I? And I'm writing this guide. That should help a few of you, I think. All right, so is that enough of a backstory? I mean, I consider myself quite a normal bloke. So I think if I can do it, anyone can. And I know that's very easy to say. And I'll be honest, it's hard. But it's not so hard, it's impossible. The rewards by far outweigh any of the challenges that come with this. So hopefully you'll get a view of why I am doing this. I mean, I live in a beautiful place, and on a sunny day, look at it. But it's not that I don't like it here. Just always enjoyed the adventure side of things, and the world's a big place, isn't it? And it's busy around here. It's noisy. But in saying that, living in these parts, I used to live in a place called Marple Bridge. This is Bramall. Both are beautiful. Marple Bridge, very rural. It's on the edge of Derbyshire. Cheshire meets Derbyshire, and it goes up into the Peak District. It's beautiful, absolutely amazing. And I would move back there, and I miss that area because I used to go running along the canals. There's beautiful lakes in the forest, and it's just great. Over here, as beautiful as this park is, this is it. Everywhere else is really residential, busy, built up. And there's no views. The houses is all pretty, it's all you see is other houses. And I think views a big part of things for me, I suppose. If you're going to sit there and work from home or daydream and stare at a view, it's important, isn't it? Anyway. Right. Okay, so first big question, which is grouped together, it's sort of like what I summarise it as, what are you chasing? What are you running away from? Comes out a lot. People think there's a real dark backstory. And weirdly, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, when I go on nice holidays and travel a bit, some of my friends from Cardiff go, mate, what are you chasing? What are you after? What are you looking for? As they didn't get it either. And I've tried to think of this answer before. I'm saying it now quite openly, honestly. I'm not chasing anything. I'm not running away from anything. You can't run away from things. I've had a relationship with somebody who had a past, and they thought that moving or a change would just drop the past. You need to sort that out. If you've got anything you're harbouring, it's going to move with you. So there's nothing in the past that I'm running away from, and there's nothing I'm hunting for. But I have always enjoyed the exploring side. So what's around the next corner? What's it like over there? What's that culture like? The moving abroad piece, there was a moment when I was like late 20s, I suppose. And I was quite lucky in my job to travel with work, and then I was able to live abroad whilst working for this company in Britain. So I bought a house in Spain. This is when I was getting married, and my firstborn was born in Spain. Two things happened there. Purchase was a doddle, absolutely really easy to do. And then we had to move home for a reason, which I won't go into, but nothing dark, nothing crazy. So when we decided to sell the place in Spain, it sold immediately. And again, that transaction was simple. So since then, I've always thought, there's absolutely no barrier. There's no problem in buying and selling a house anywhere. So it's the classic rule, isn't it? Location, location, location and all that. And I remember thinking, God, that was easy. I definitely would do that again. And then I've always joked at saying, to be honest, I'd move abroad tonight with what's in my pocket, passport and wallet, clothes on my back. I'd move abroad. So I loved it. I really, really enjoyed living there. And we had to come home, fair enough. And you get back into, I guess, the real world, I suppose, bringing up children, schools, high schools, what they're going to do next. and there's always been that adventure in me, I'd say. Yeah, so the adventure. I'm not running away from anything, but I don't know. Sounds a bit cheesy to say what am I running towards? Probably a good time to talk about being alone and relationships, things like that. And this is a massive thing I've learned about myself recently. I get loads of questions about relationships. So I'm single. I was married. I have dated since I got divorced. And where I see myself at the moment is I don't think I've got much to offer somebody. And that might sound crazy, but at the moment, my plate's pretty full. Work, family, travel, the house, and then my own time, downtime, and you need that. So if I think, let's say they're the 5 big categories, big subjects, I will date again, and it will be a lady. So thanks, gents, for all the messages that you send, and thanks, but maybe there's a compliment in there somewhere. On that subject though, I'm starting to see what women say when you get unsolicited messages, and anyway, thanks guys, but no thanks. So I will date again for sure, no question. There will be a lady in my life, I'm confident of that, but when I say I don't feel I've got much to offer at the moment is, it's not that I've got no time, but something's going to have to give. And what I've learned about myself is being on your own, it's okay, it's good to be on your own. Spend time with yourself and have that freedom, that space. Gives you loads of time to think and reflect and learn about yourself. So I'm not going to give that up. So it means one of the other 4's got to give. And at the moment they can't because they're busy with work. The children's lives are busy and they still need me a lot. I mean, obviously that'll change in time as they really get on their own 2 feet. Hopefully one day I'll be able to go part-time or pack in work. This house will finish itself, so that'll be done. And I've got loads of time then, I'm free. So I think then I'll look up, then I'll look around, and I'm hoping that I'll meet somebody who's gone through the same process. Like I say, spending time on your own, it's amazing. So I know a lot of you are in a funny situation or a funny position. I remember the early days, just going out on your own felt weird, and I guess work changed things. I used to go to hotels on my own, obviously, stay and go for restaurants on my own. But then you start and you get a little bit more confident. You go to cinema on your own, you go to theatre, whatnot. You go to museums on your own and hang around there for the day. The big one, which I did this year for the first time, as a band I've always liked. A bit of a guilty pleasure, I suppose, called Crowded House. And every time, they remind me of backpacking and travelling around Australia when I was young. But I mean, they're a great band anyway. Neil Finn's a legend. So nobody I've met has ever liked that band. So when I say, come on, let's go see them, it's like a hard no. So for the first time, they were in Manchester the same time I was. So I booked a really nice ticket, went to a pop concert on my own, sat down near the front in the middle. Did feel weird going there, but it was such a good night because I looked around, there was a few other people who were clearly there on their own, big fans of the band. And it's those little things, you'd be surprised when you break through your own barriers, whatever they may be, and you push yourself to the other side. It's amazing. Just on that subject, there is a really cheesy movie which has inspired me. It's a Jim Carrey film. I think it's called The Yes Man. Basically says yes to everything, his life changes. So I know I've told this a few times to people I've met in Coronado or in Senegalia, but I tried it. Start saying yes to stuff. You don't say yes to everything, obviously, but that's changed my life as well in a really good way. So I highly recommend that. All right, so here's a big common theme. What am I scared of, or what are my fears? That's an interesting one. So I still feel a bit ruled by money. It's real for a lot of us. I know there's a lot of wealthy people out there, but obviously work-life balance is important. I do worry about the children and getting them set up okay, because I don't think they're going to be, I think it's going to be more difficult for them than it was for me. I worry about my pension. I don't think it's going to be enough, and I just don't think they're going to have one at all. I think the whole system's going to change. So that's a bit of a worry, and that always errs me on the side of caution when I make financial decisions. The downsizing is a big part of it. And what I call the go bag, I've talked to a lot of friends about this, what you consider your go bag is how much money do you think you actually need? So when you boil that back and you start to think, if you've got no debt, as in no mortgages, your big expenses are car, travel and health. So I'm more focused on getting fitter, getting healthier than I ever have been. Although that's a transition. It's not an easy leap, is it? To go from just eating what you want, doing what you want, to thinking, yeah, maybe I won't have that second half of the bottle of red. Save that for tomorrow. So health is it's always going to be there, isn't it? It's just the way we all are. But when I say what my go bag looks like, it's getting smaller and smaller, meaning my pot of money that I think I'm going to need is getting less and less. I'm working hard at the moment to be debt free, so no mortgage in the UK, no mortgage in Italy, no debt, cars all paid for, things like that are really, they're changing the way I'm seeing things. And now I've started to look at my outgoings. I hardly spend any money. And so when I look where the money then goes is nice travel, better flights, nicer hotels, better experiences. When I start looking at the true costs, as in bills, and then I turn the power down, turn the electric off, things like that. Running two houses at the same time, it really highlights where and why you should shut stuff off, to the point where the energy company in the UK keep wanting to come round to check my meters because they run so low. And they're like, why aren't you using any gas? I'm like, well, I'm not there, mate. But they don't believe me. Think I've got a hooky connection or something. So yeah, let's cut off from the power companies, and go off grid in Italy, maybe. So what was I saying? Go bag. Yeah, so it takes years. It's not something you can do overnight, but live by your means and don't waste money. I look at what I'm wearing. Shoes, second. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? Shoes I'm wearing today, second hand, all tinted. I think I paid 20 quid for them. They're like brand new when I bought them mine. I know second-hand shoes aren't good for a lot of people. The shorts I'm wearing, I don't know, 5 years old. They're probably 15 quid. This t-shirt is old. Anyway, it's not a lecture on saving, but it's a big part of the plan. Cutting down my outgoings to streamline my lifestyle. This probably hasn't come out very well, is it? Because facing the sun. Right, let's go somewhere else. Okay, what else are we talking about? Two. What do I wish I did sooner? There's a lot of that. So regrets or life regrets, I think, was the deeper questions of it. And then what next? Okay, so everyone makes mistakes, yeah? So I guess you got to see those as, you got to learn from them, I think. It's without getting too deep. But one thing that's helped me is failure's not bad. Making mistakes is all right. Making the same mistake multiple times, yeah, you're a bit of an idiot. But if you learn from your mistakes, there's nothing wrong with that. And nobody's perfect. You think you're making the right decision one day and times change. So because of that, I'm not that scared of going for stuff. One of my best mates still, always when we were young, where do you see yourself in 10 years? It was his number one question. I was like, mate, I don't know. Why are you so hooked on it? I said, just give it up, let's see what happens. Anyway, I think he's where he wants to be, but who knows? But for me, I'm like, 10 years ago, there's no way I saw myself doing this. 2 years ago, I didn't see myself doing YouTube, really. And now, I never didn't think it'd be anywhere near what it's become. So you have a little overarching plan, and the chapters in between, they're interchangeable, aren't they? So my overarching plan is, I do want to live abroad. Will I live in Italy forever? So this comes to, what do I think I'm going to do? At this moment in time, I don't think I'll live in Italy full time, but I do think I'll have that house forever. Without talking about the Brexit thing, that's kind of made a few decisions for me. The 90-day rule isn't bad, because I've got to be here. I've got to be here for work, I've got to be here for the family, and I've got a house here, so I've got an investment and an asset here. But in the future, Will I want to spend 6 months of the year in Italy, 6 months of the year in England? No. However, 6 months in Italy and 6 months somewhere else, or I don't know, a month in England, 5 months somewhere else, and that's starting to sound pretty cool. So honestly, that's where I'm at. Like I say, I'm single. I'm just focusing on what's in front of me at the moment. But I know when the children get a little bit older, work sorts itself out, the house becomes finished, I can do anything again. Anything. Sleep on your dreams, and if they're still there after a few, act on them, do something about it. And if you fail, don't worry about it, at least you tried. Back to any regrets and things, I know this is jumping around a bit, but I don't want to get to my deathbed thinking, oh, I wish I'd have done that when I had the chance. I wish I'd have made that move, or I wish I'd have... God, there's so many things you could say here, isn't there? But I don't want to get to my deathbed wishing I'd have done something and I let the opportunity pass me by. And that gives me loads of energy. All right, do a few quick fire questions in the shade while it's quiet. Do I feel brave? Sometimes. Do I feel brave? I think sometimes, yeah. I think it's because of some of the letters I get off people explaining, I guess, their life, their situation, and where they're at. And to say I'm inspiring, it's crazy. So when you read those letters and you see what people think they've got in their way, I think I've had the similar things. And then obviously I'm where I am. So there's something in me maybe that's just thought, sod it, I'm going for it. Fear of failure, I think it comes back to that. What's the worst that can happen here? Don't like it, sell the house. Don't make £1 million on it, but it's not always about the money, is it? It's about the experience. So I suppose, do I feel brave? No, but I'm starting to think that some of the things I'm doing might not be as easy to others as maybe I'm finding it. But again, I'm on my own, remember? So I can do all this. My fear there is more for the children. I don't think they love it at this point in time. But then I think that because they haven't really travelled much yet, Italy's one of those places that you sort of fall in love with over time, I'd say. My opinion is that that's when Italy just gets better and better. When you've seen other stuff to compare it against, should we say? Music, talked about Oasis a lot, but my music choice is really eclectic, if I'm honest. Bit of everything in there. Crowded House is a guilty pleasure. I love that band. But otherwise, it goes back to when I was about 19, maybe 17, coming back from the pub. And parents are upstairs in bed, turn the telly on, put MTV on all night. I'd be there till 2, 3, 4 in the morning just listening to stuff. So I do remember like the very first MTV Unplugged sessions with people like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and God, that Pearl Jam session. So yeah, okay, what else is there? Books. The number one book, Into the Wild. It's a great book about a young guy who turns his back on society, I suppose, and just goes off wandering, and it's really interesting. And the way it ends is up for debate. There's a huge fan base behind that book and that story, and there's what happened at the end is debatable. Did it happen on purpose or was it a total accident? Intriguing. So Into the Wild. Otherwise, oh God, there's loads. Too many to mention. But I might start putting this as blogs on the website because there seems to be a lot of like-minded people, and there's a few books that have really inspired me. Nice one. What do I hope for my daughters? Okay. See the world definitely. Avoid the political areas and don't get into all that shenanigans. And don't pluck their eyebrows. They are blessed. Those eyebrows they've got are beautiful. Mine are like ridiculous. But for a lady, they're lucky. So hopefully they don't overpluck those things. If I could turn back the clock. There was one golf tournament once where I chose the wrong shot. I was winning, I was leading, and I didn't win. And I know exactly why. Other than that, I probably would have got away from Tony Me Geometry a little bit sooner. Otherwise, hey, what's regrets all about? They just hold you back, don't they? Top tip. So I scribbled this down. Get out of bed early. Try and learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Go again. Say yes more than you say no. Drink more water. Do yoga. What else comes through? Ideal person. Internet crush. There are a couple of channels I watch, should we say, on YouTube. And It's hard to say, actually. What I find interesting, these aren't supermodel type women. They just got their sorted. They're intelligent, they're active. They just get off their ass and go and do something. And they're achieving stuff, and it's not massive. It's not, not changing the world stuff. But you can see that they just keep going. That is really attractive. Anyway, I don't know if I should talk about internet crushes. All right, I think that's it for quick fires. Don't mind putting the hard work in if the rewards are there, whether that be hours or learning something new. Yeah, those things don't bother me or scare me, but there has to be a reward. It could be just lifestyle, like work-life balance, which sounds cheesy and very well marketed, but just the best way to describe it. I've never been controlled by work, should we say, in the fact that my life evolves around work. Been quite good at that. I think I was very fortunate to be mentored by some very bright and successful individuals in the early years of my career, and they were really good at what's important and what's not, where to focus and what to avoid, how to prioritise, and yeah, it's paying off. I guess I owe those people a beer. So the way I see things and the what's next piece is it's a whole load of chapters, isn't it? Not getting too deep on these things, but they are a book. Part 1, Part 2, Act 1, Act 2, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. You have your single life when you're young, your midlife where you're trying to date and settle down and start a family, and then there's the next bit, which for me was divorce and rebuild, whatever, and then the kids get older, they flee the nest, and then you've got a new chapter, and that's a big chapter. That's the most important one, because that's the one where you've still got the energy and you've still got the active side of your life before you start getting old, and you just can't be as agile and move around. So what's that, 5, 6 chapters? Learn from being alone. It's absolutely fine. I think you see a lot of people with headphones in, and I get that. I understand that. But if you are that person, take the headphones off, just go out and turn your phone off or put your phone in your pocket and sit and watch the world go by and see what happens. It's all good, really. Right, without going on too much, don't want to get this boring. What else do? I run a lot, and I find that does 2 things. Obviously, lung capacity, so my asthma, that's really good. I find that most important thing with running, or the best thing about running, it just sorts stuff out. So if I've got 20 things to do and I don't know where to start, I go for a run, and within 20 minutes of running, the to-do list is filtered and organised, no problem, and you realise actually only 4 or 5 of those things are important. The rest is just noise that can wait or be ignored. So yeah, I love running. Yeah, the short-term focus on the girls, really. I remember always wanted children, so putting them first, it's not a problem. It's just you don't have to think about it, do you? So whilst I am trying to build my own life around it, I was not really one of those parents saying parenting wouldn't change me, but there's no question it does. It makes you see things differently. What I'm loving now, and the girls at the age they're at, they're coming back from college and uni with new views, their own experiences, and the conversations are amazing, absolutely amazing. And long may that continue. I love it. So as they get older, it just gets more and more fun. Okay, so, all right, I think that's probably it, really. Covered a lot of big subjects there, as quick as I can. So now it's clouding over. Shame. I think I'll get my book out and sit under a tree, have a read, fall asleep. All right, thanks for watching, and keep with the questions on email or on Instagram. They're all great. The comments on YouTube, obviously public, so be careful what you put on there. But I'll try and get through them all. It's starting to get crazy. There's like between 500 or so messages a week, I think it is now, which is, I can't complain. So these people who send me gifts and buy me a coffee stuff, that goes a long way. That's changing things, to be fair. So I really, really appreciate all of that. That's fantastic. So yeah, keep watching, keep asking questions. I have no idea where this is going. So come along. I don't know, it sounds all cheesy, innit? But if you've got this dream, honestly, go for it. Just jump off the cliff, do it. Don't look back. Get your ducks in line. It takes a few years to get those ducks in a line, but when they're in line, jump. Honestly, you won't regret it. So I am still in Italy, a couple of hours to go before I get into the mountains. I've stopped at the services. It's 35 degrees. I'm just outside of Bologna at the moment, by the way, and it's 35. So I hope it's cooler in the mountains. Oh, I should add, the car here is packed of wine, spirits, and amazing food. Some clothes as well, but not much. Just mainly food and booze. I have a limit, so I'm only allowed to take, is it 24 bottles of wine? It's 24 bottles of good wine in this car. So for me it's about 2 hours to Bologna, and then just after that is Modena, and then you turn right effectively and you've pretty much got a straight line right through into Austria. Now the first half of it up to Verona is pretty boring, it's pretty flat like this, but once you get past Verona and the lower Alps start to arrive, it's a great drive. So as motorways go, this is one of the best ones, especially heading into Austria from Italy. It's just spectacular. So if you are doing this is definitely a route to do in daylight. You get the real scale of the mountains. Yeah, I don't know the peaks, but they're pretty high. You're way over 2,000 meters for sure, some 3. So you're not in the highest part of the Alps, but as you gradually go up and up and up and climb up, the motorway I think goes well over 1,500 meters. But I'm going to turn off, so I'll get to Bolzano and then I'll turn off there and I'll meander my way up into the Dolomites. Like I say, I think it's the 822 for those statos who love all that sort of stuff. The 822, it's a good road. All right. Alright, so those of you who've been here skiing, this is the on the Selleronda, and this bridge here is where you cross over to keep going. It's really good. It's such good fun. I brought the girls here when they were pretty good skiing. They weren't brilliant when I first came here. They're good now, bless them. They loved it here. This is their favourite place because, yeah, there's a couple of black runs, but nothing crazy. The red runs, they're really long. I mean, some of them are 20-30 minutes of skiing, and they're gliding, they're wide. It's just beautiful. So if you are that good intermediate, you're not going to find a better place than this, promise you. Everyone I recommend to come here loves it, and they keep coming back, and you don't often get that with ski resorts because in Europe there's so much choice. Alright, so out of the valley now and into the switchbacks to get up high. Alright, that's the climb up, which is, you got to keep your eye on that road, haven't you, especially with these cyclists. And cyclists that were going faster than the cars. Oh, here we go, here's the nutters. Those boys are different breed, aren't they? No offence and all that, but you lot are crazy, I can tell you. Now this is the Gardena Pass. This is stunning. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and, well, brings a tear to your eye with its beauty, that's for sure. Oh, they've closed off the car park I was going to park in, and this could be difficult to stop now. pass is just over 2,100 meters and it's dropped to 14 degrees. Oh, this is amazing, even on a bad cloudy day. Right, for those who haven't seen this before and you're into cycling, you gotta come here. This is, I reckon, the value of the bicycles that have passed are probably worth more than the cars that have passed. That's how good it is here for cycling. Showing off. That's what they're doing. Showing off. But God, this place. You got you know, it's unreal. Yeah, if you can get to here, summer or winter, you will not be disappointed. The Italian Dolomites, yeah, it's just ridiculous. I hope you can hear the waterfall. All right, on we go. Hour and a half, and then set up camp for the night in here. I guess those cars that shot past changed the value of the bike versus value of the car ratio stat thing I was rambling on about. Yeah, a couple of Lambos, Porsches, and a Ferrari. Yeah, no. Buck the trend. Still, some beautiful bikes. Okay, on to Braise, Lake Braise. It's saying it's just under an hour away from here. And the roads are like this. And the views like this. Not a problem that, is it really? Right, just arrived at Lake Braise, so hardly anyone here. I don't know how much sunlight I've got, so I'm going to do a quick lap, set the cameras, give you an idea of what happens if you come here late and you miss all the tourists. It's without doubt the best time to come, I can tell you. Right, it's getting a bit dark, so I don't know how well this is going to come out. There's a few people around, obviously, not just here by myself, but I have been here when like middle of the day, and you'd be amazed to get a photo without anyone in it. And now look, it's just empty. It's just an amazing place. I made a bit of a mad dash halfway round and the weather looks like it's going to change. Can't really tell how much more light I've got, and I want to set the car up. So I just checked the weather and it doesn't look like it's the best time to come. A bit unlucky really, because it's been so beautiful. But it might be thunder and lightning tonight, which could be interesting, sleeping in the car at altitude. But we're in it now, aren't we? You can't turn back. So hopefully get up early tomorrow and the weather will be nice. I can do a full lap, get some good footage. But this place is beautiful, I think. Because the weather's turned, I can see two other people. So this is the best time to come. The colour of the water on a sunny day is just amazing. But I'll try and catch you up tomorrow. I reckon they make a couple of quid on these boats, you know. So what I do when I sleep in the car, I just have a little bit of a move stuff around. So clothes go in the front. Just need to create a little space for me to lie down, really. So I'll show you. Alright, because I've got the bike with me, that's in the boot normally out of sight, so we can move it to the side here. Sleeping bag, it shouldn't be cold, mind. Here's the bed, I'll blow that up now and show you what it's like. There you go, I'll fit in here. Not that tall, you know, and it's comfy. So I'll park on a slight slope. 2 pillows, blankets, sleeping bag, 3 nights kip. Other side of one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. Right, I'm in the camp for the night. Guess you can't see anything, so let me get my phone and give you an idea before I sort of... Anyway, so more than enough leg room down there. At the top end here with 2 pillows. It's comfy, and then the view. Who needs to pay for a really expensive hotel when you can have this? I think it's about 5:30. 5. So, gosh, sleep so well. Braise wake me up. 5. Is it 5:30? What's the time? Let's have a look. Oh, 5:22. $5:35. I don't think there's anyone else out yet. Ooh, could have a lake all to myself. It's times like this, and I've done this a few times in a few places because I've been fortunate enough to do a bit of travel. These odd times of day. I remember getting a ferry once, Airlie Beach, in the Whitsundays. Oh, there's just a big catamaran goes out to Hamilton Island. You know, just a standard little boat, but what a place that is. 6 AM, so you get up, sunrise, see it. It's just beautiful. And then you think, this goes 6 AM every day. And quite often, I'll find myself thinking, 6 AM in Australia. That boat's leaving now. So random, but that's where this crazy thing works. And now walking around here at 5:30 in the morning. I tell you what, this is a memory. This one will be locked in as well. Love it. This is bringing back some amazing memories. An odd way to celebrate your 40th, but a group of friends and I went to Vegas for a week. That's not odd. You know, that's tick box standard stuff, isn't it? So we had a week, and then or 4 days, and I stayed behind. So I went out to the Grand Canyon, and I'd always wanted to do this, but nobody would stay and do it with me. So I hiked the Grand Canyon, North Rim to South Rim, middle of July. Yeah, loads of warnings against that, but I did train properly for it. Like, I really trained. Set off at first light, and it's an all-day hike, so it's 26 miles, but it's a mile down and a mile up. And I didn't see anybody until I got to the ranch at the bottom. Had a little drink, a little bit to eat, and then I set off again. And then I didn't see anybody again until I got to Uar Point, which is, I think, where they say is the last point day hikers can get down to from the South Rim. And there's a ranger sat on this rock. Where have you come from? As if, you know, my name's not on the list, what am I doing here? So I thought, I'm in trouble now. So she said, oh, I just day hiking North Rim to South Rim. Got the most disapproving shake of the head ever. It's like being told off at school. Anyway, but the memory that's come back is get up early, come to one of the most amazing places in the world, and hit that lucky day when the weather forecast is bad, so there's no one here, but the weather forecast is wrong, and it's amazing. It's these little things, these little bits. This is the adventure, I think. I don't think, I hope I never lose this. And this whole Italian thing, it's like this, it's just one big adventure. I've no idea where it's going or where it's heading. I quite like that. Nervous at times, I got to be honest, and sometimes it's overwhelming, and sometimes I do look in the mirror and go, what are you doing, man? And then stuff like this happens. Okay, so that's the lap of Lake Braise. Definitely one for your bucket list. You should, you got to see this place. Alright, so I think I timed that to perfection. Time now is 5 to 7, so I really did take my time actually. You could do that in under an hour. I mean, it'd be fantastic to go running around there. I haven't got the gear on, I don't want to get too sweaty in the car. But yeah, there you go, difference an hour makes, from having a private viewing of Lake Braise to, well, coach party at the end. So the small sacrifices, sleep in the car, eat cold pasta, there's a reward, All right, what should we do next? I'm still in Italy. I'm going to cross the border into Austria and have a breakfast, lunch, brunch in Kitzbühel. It's another cool place, super cool. What a great place to go skiing that is. I know I love the Dolomites, but that Hanekam, is it called? The crazy one, skiing down that's an experience. So yeah, it's a beautiful town. So I'm going to head there now. I'll stop somewhere and have a nice coffee. Bit of a freshen up as well, because I did literally just get out of the car and go. It's just so good though. I'm in that now. Oh, that's a great memory. That's like I said earlier, locked in. That's to see that with no one around. I feel really lucky. So yeah, on we go. Alright, I need to sort the vignette out for Austria. Pay-as-you-go tolls, France and Italy. Drive up, pay at the gate type thing. Get a ticket to enter, pay as you leave. Straightforward. Pay on a card, contactless I think. Great. In Holland and in Germany there are no tolls. There's no road tax, so you don't have to pay anything for those. Switzerland and Austria have vignettes, so you have to pay in advance. Austria, you can get one for a day or a week or a year, whatever you want. And in Switzerland, it's for a year. Make sure you get those vignettes because they are hot on fines. They get your car on camera, big fine if you don't do it. I'll put the links as usual in the description of YouTube, but this journey I'll put a decent blog, show the route and some of the stats that people ask me about. Or anything not clear, send me a message. Alright, this is the road from Lake Braise back down to the main highway, which on my map is saying Road 100. Not sure that's right. So basically Lake Braise through to Lienz, L-I-E-N-Z. Apologies on the pronunciation. What a road. Well, the weather's really changed and come in. So I'm in Austria at the moment. I was in Kitzbühel and it was bucketing it down. I looked at the forecast and this whole area is not great. So I'm going to change the plan, but that drive was so good and I will go back to Kitzbühel another day because it's beautiful around there. So I think now what I'm going to do is carry on through Austria, get into Germany, bypass Munich, and I'm going to go up to Nuremberg. I've never been there before and there's obviously a load of history there and I wouldn't mind just having a look around, but that also gets me further up into Germany. And then I'll find a hotel somewhere in the middle of nowhere tonight and then up early again tomorrow to get into Holland. And I think looking at the weather there is better tomorrow. So I might just go to Amsterdam for the day and have a ride around the canals. I've got the bike here and have a lovely day in Amsterdam before I get a ferry. Don't know what's going on in Germany today, but something's going on. It's either a holiday or a national tow your caravan round a motorway day. I have never seen so many tourers and caravans in my life, ever. Gonna have to excuse the tramp slept in the car look. For those of you who skipped, I slept in the car last night. Summer, eh? One like this in Italy. Just saying. This town's amazing. Really, really nice. I can imagine this in the winter, the markets. I'd come back here at Christmas time for sure. I reckon the markets here would be pretty special. Right, you might have to excuse the wonky camera on this one because I've got it strapped to the bike. I'm trying to carry this. It's cobbly streets, there's people everywhere. But hey, this is like bucket list stuff. Cycled a lot of places, but I ain't cycled Amsterdam yet. And this town's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, I've been cycling around Amsterdam now for a couple of hours. I am nearly out of all the batteries. Because I haven't really thought about doing this Q&A bit. I've had so much fun just cycling about. I'm going to go and get some food. And I think I'm going to the ferry after this. And there's no quiet places on the ferry other than your room. So what I might do, I think I'll do the Q&A bit at the very end when I get home, so you can see the suburb I live in, Greater Manchester. I'm not going to show my house and everything, you know, because a couple of people have crossed that line. But I can show you Bramall Hall and maybe pop into Manchester, just briefly. This place has been amazing. I know loads who watch this. If you're the ones who love cycling, you gotta come here, and just on any bike. There's a couple of really cool fixies. Yeah, so I'm gonna go somewhere now and park up the bike, have something to eat, and then cycle back to the car. It's a national holiday today, so there's free parking everywhere, which is quite handy. So I didn't have to cycle so far. Right, I'm rambling on here. I've had a mega time, and what a trip back this has been. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. Hopefully the camera didn't sort of bounce too much and drop down, and there's some decent footage that I can use and gives you an idea of what it's like flying around this very cool town on a bike. I should mention the bike. I have used this in a video before when I cycled to Imola, but it was gifted and it's absolutely amazing. Folds away in the car, easy to charge up. It's pedal assist, you have to start cycling, but there's 3 gears or 0, so you don't have to have the power on at all if you want. And yeah, they just sent it to me. I didn't give me like an affiliate link or anything, but I'll message them and see if we can get a discount code. I recommend this one. Right, now the fun. So going on these adventures is brilliant, but driving into some cities, it gets you going. So Holland's easy to drive through, but cities, they're not so easy. There are lines and signs and people and bikes everywhere, and the only equivalent, as crazy, is Rome. Rome is just nuts. Rome's like a racetrack. But here, there is organisation to it, but because it's very foreign to me, sort of, you got to give way to pedestrians and bikes, then cars, and then the trams. It's a lot, actually, for to arrive. So the sat nav is all very good, well and good, but because there's so many little turn-ins, you kind of got to turn the instructions off and do the old-fashioned way, you know, use the force. Focus like a Jedi Master, and you'll figure your way through these beautiful towns. Don't let that put you off. You should come in, you should drive in. It's hard to find places to park, and you know, that's the benefit of the bike. I don't worry about where to park now. I park miles out and cycle in, and that's the best thing in Holland, the bike tracks. They've nailed it. They have absolutely sussed it. Brilliant. Anyway, so directions now to Europort. It's about an hour and a half from here, I think. Let's have a look. Alright, so some of you might watch Cara and Nate who do like tours of rooms and stuff, and they take 10 minutes. Amazing how they do that. Toilet, shower, mirror, bed, second bed. Way out. That's it, that's the tour. It's not for me, that. Not for me. It's nice out there, but sitting downwind of all the smokers, it's not for me, that. It's not for me. And this side's a bit... It's 7:25 AM, so let's see how long it takes now to clear customs. Alright, now you queue for customs. So it's 7:45 now, off the boat, and I better not record this bit, probably get told off. Two minutes to 8, that's the record. It normally takes ages, but maybe they've had a word. That was good. Alright, 2 minutes to 8, just over an hour to the house. Bit longer. I won't film this because British motorways are pretty drab. Pretty drab. In my opinion, of course. Don't want to offend anyone. Just don't want to offend anyone. What's the point? Alright. Next stop, Bramble.